Evening, everybody. It's 5:55, and this is your closing comment for Monday, the 28th of March, and it is video number 1207. And as always, I remind you to hit that subscribe button to be supportive of us and the notification bell so that you get all of our information. Okay, so the market was pretty strong today. Um, didn't really start out that way, was strong overnight. Then the futures slipped onto the negative side before the open, but at the close, the Dow was up just under 95 points, or about a quarter of a percent, while the NASDAQ was up 185 or 1.3%. That was the big winner. S&P closed up 32.46, up 0.7%. The Russell is not even worth mentioning, up 8 cents. And the Dow Jones Transport's up 96.67 or 0.6%. What was impressive, somewhat, was that the VIX cracked under 20 and closed there, 1963 down $1.18. So that's really come in another 5.6% today. The market internals, however, were not great. We were just barely 1-to-1 on the NYSE. We were 1.1-to-1 to the downside on the NASDAQ, and volume was noticeably light and has been for a while, but they did manage a 5 billion number. We had a treasury auction today, did not go particularly well. The 2-year was actually up 5 basis points, although the 10-year was down 2 basis points, as was the 20 and as was the 30. So I'm sitting with the TLT trade a little bit longer. It was up all day, came all the way back down, made a new low on the day, and then rallied $1 off that. The bonds in general were up about 5/8 of a dollar, although at the high they were up 1.5. So we'll have to see how that shakes out. Tesla, with the announcement of the split, 1,091.84, up 81.20 or 8%, and that is not a done deal. Shareholders have to vote to approve a change in the authorized. I want to mention something here about what happened today with AMC and HYMC. To me, this smells like fraud. Um, I don't make that comment lightly, but when you have a company as heavily laden in debt as AMC, by 22% of a little nothing company in Nevada, in a completely disjointed business deal, and a movie theater and popcorn retailer goes into gold and silver mining, and HYMC pops, and what do? They issue more shares. Now, I understand there's a difference between debt financing and equity financing. But if you don't think that HYMC was manipulated higher by that buy so that they could turn around and sell $168 million worth of stock, I think you're deluding yourself. Um, you know, HYMC closed, last I saw, was 257, up $1.29, or literally 99%. And AMC is 29.33, up 909 or 45%. To me, when one is up because of the other, and that reflects back on the initial company, that's very much smoke and mirrors, house of cards, call it whatever you want. I do not believe in it. HYMC is heavily debt laden, and all that AMC did was give them a way to get out of some of that debt. And believe me, they didn't do it because they're good guys. And AMC is dramatically over leveraged. So while they're shopping for these stupid little businesses to go into, um, I'm going to keep away from it. I'm also going to keep away from AMLX. This is a drug company. It's only been around a couple of months. They have an ALS drug. Now, you need to go back to Biogen IDEC, BIIB, and remember the way that that stock has acted on information prior to and even after the FDA approved it. The difference is, and it was very choppy. I mean, the stock literally went from 150 to 250 and back. I don't know where it closed today, but I'm going to look. Biogen IDEC closed 211. It had a 1 day spike in December from a prior close of 233 up to 265. It had a spike in June of last year where it went from 295 to 468 in a day on the approval of that. And since then, after hitting 468 and a half, we're cut in half, more than cut in half here at 211. So AMLX was already told by the FDA that their trial was too small and they wanted a second trial. That was several months ago. And they filed for it anyway. And the FDA is going to vote on Wednesday about that issue and whether or not, ALS is a very tough disease. There really are well, clearly there's no cure. There are very few therapeutics around, so anything would be helpful. But when the FDA says to you, okay, we think you should do another trial, and you ignore them, kind of guessing you don't get any extra credit points or little gold stars for that. In the meantime, the stock closed at 25 on Friday. It traded as high this morning before the news as 25.68, and then it collapsed to $10.49. It did make up some of that, closed at 16.10, down 9 or 36%. Poly, Poly, being bought by Hewlett Packard. This is the old Plantronics. They made headsets initially. They're into video conferencing now, and so it's an interesting deal. What's more interesting is that HP bid $40 for it, and this morning when I mentioned it, it was 38 and change. It actually closed 39.99, up 13.79 or 53 cents with a penny discount to the deal. Okay, futures. This is the oil. The news out of Shanghai is a possible demand problem. China does import a great deal of oil, nat gas. They burn a lot of coal, which they have, but that's problematic besides. In any event, it closed at 105.96, down 7.94 or 7% after trading as low as 102.83. So it closed about $3 off the low, a little over $3 off the low, but still down 7% on the day. Gold was also lower. It traded as low as 1920, but closed at 1944.70. I want to just take a quick look at that for you or with you, and we'll see what that looks like. So it closed down 15, but as you can see, it was substantially lower. It actually closed right a little above halfway, and by the way, pretty much right on the 5-day moving average, which has turned up. I can't get excited about the gold until we close over this 1962.20. from Thursday's high close for last week. And even then, I think it's going to run into trouble at 1990, but still a meaningful move. The big mover of the day, of course, was Bitcoin and Ethereum. Bitcoin closed very close to the high of the day and up over 3,500. So I'll show you what that looks like here. Clearly a breakout above these highs at 45,000. That's what I wrote to you in last night's letter. We gapped above the 200-day moving average, and we went right through the 100-day MA. So now all of the moving averages are pointing to the upside. I would expect it, as I said in the letter, I expect 50 to 52,000 to be a problem, but we'll see when we get there. The dollar was a little higher. I think that's getting a little toppy. And as I said, the bonds were up about 5/8. All right, everyone. Tomorrow we have the Conference Board's consumer confidence index. We have the JOLTS job openings. We have FHFA home index, and we also have the Case-Shiller home price index. So there's a fair amount of economic news this week. Have a good evening. I'll be back first thing in the morning. Don't forget to subscribe.